What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode, and I know I've been MIA because the holidays have been here, aka 4th of July, and my birthday, which is a holiday. And I haven't been posting, but I did want to bring up a topic this week. Again, I'm doing this off of a whim, whatever pops into my head. I do have an episode I want to do with my mother, but we haven't gotten around to it. Maybe tonight we'll film it, and maybe you'll get 2 episodes this week, or maybe I'll save it for next week. Either way, in this episode, I don't know how long this is going to be, but I wanted to just kind of touch on what it feels like to be an empath. I was talking to a TikTok friend who I'm gonna keep nameless just because, well, actually I don't think she cares. She probably talks about it. Amber. I was talking to Amber, and it's kind of sparked my inspiration because she's been talking about how sometimes being an empath is tough. And if you are an empath, or how about let's start here. If you don't know what an empath is a person who basically feels deeply, picks up on other people's feelings. So when people around you and your energy are feeling a negative way or feeling sad or feeling mad, you can kind of take on their energy a little bit, and it affects you and it affects your energy. You're very sensitive to people's vibes, if that makes sense. And you may look at this as like a spiritual thing, or you may just kind of look at it as like a psychological thing. However you look at it, it's a real thing. And I'm definitely one of those people, because empaths tend to be people who, when they feel those feelings, they can't differentiate from their own feelings, but the feelings they have and the feelings of somebody else. And if it's somebody they care about, they can't make heads or tails either way, right? And it can be emotionally draining at times, because not only are you feeling your own feelings, life is hard enough, at times, but you're feeling the feelings of other people around you, and you can't understand make headway of which ones are your feelings, the feelings you should be feeling, and which ones are the feelings of somebody else that you care about. And it becomes really wonky. It's kind of like radio waves. When radio signals get crossed, like you have one radio station over here and then another radio station over there, but their signals get crossed and you can't hear either one now. And that's like the best way that I can put it, when you're an empath. And that can be really, really fucking draining. Really draining. I don't know if you guys watched my live stream last night. Literally, last night. Brittany and I went live. And we did fan calls. And even sometimes when you're that sensitive, when you're talking to that many people, it can be emotionally draining. Because even if that person's not unloading on you, you can still pick up on their vibe or certain things that they're going through. It's like subconsciously, I can't explain it. And I don't know if you saw the live stream right after the fan calls live stream, when we were on TikTok. We went to TikTok live stream. And I was very tired. And it wasn't because I was tired because I hadn't slept or anything like that. I was tired because I was picking up on other people's energy. And again, you may believe in this shit. You may not believe in this shit. You may think this is all cockamamie bullshit. Whatever it is, I could tell you from experience, which again, this is very anecdotal, but I can tell you it's a real thing. It really is. There are times where I need to step back as an empath and journal to try and figure out my own feelings, or just step back and shut down for a little bit. To what's the word I'm looking for? Replenish my own energy, if that makes sense. Do things that I love. Because empaths also tend to, because they take on other people's feelings, it becomes personal. Even if they don't know somebody. This is the whole reason why I can connect with everybody, because I feel you guys on a deep level. And I think somewhere innately, you guys can feel that as well. That I feel everybody, and I love it. It's not a complaint to me. I love connecting with people on that level. I love getting into people's what makes them tick, and people's minds and people's psyche and stuff like that. That's like my thing, but it is draining sometimes. And I can tell you with the TikTok fame, and I don't even like to say fame, I hate that word, with the TikTok notoriety and building this following and stuff like that, it is the most incredible thing that has happened in my life, aside from like falling in love, which is another incredible thing. But like, this is a dream of mine, to be able to sit in front of a camera and talk to people and impact people and make people smile and make people think. This is a dream of mine. And I would never, ever, ever in a million years take it for granted, or it's never going to get old to me. When you guys send me certain gifts or send me cards or letters, and you take the time out of your day to just reach out to me, even if it takes me a week or 2 weeks to friggin' see the damn message or reach back out, when I see it, it affects me in an amazing way, and it'll never get old. Going to my P.O. box and seeing your letters and cards, that never gets old to me. There's never gonna come a time where I'm gonna be like, oh, no, it's just another letter. No, because to me, that connection is so important as an empath. But when you are an empath, there are moments where you have to step back, because there were times, many times still to this day, that I don't sleep since, becoming known on TikTok. My sleeping pattern, for instance, has been wonky, to say the fucking least. And it's because I'm so invested in you guys. You guys think you're the only ones that are... Actually, I'd like to believe that a lot of you guys know that I'm just as invested in you as you guys are in me, right? And I lose sleep because I'm afraid that I'm going to miss a comment, or I'm afraid that I'm going to offend somebody by not seeing their comment, or make somebody upset. And that's the last thing I want to do. And that is so hard. It's like this crazy whirlwind when you're an empath, but you're also popular on social media. It's this crazy, like, up and down sometimes. It can be, at least. It's been 95%, 98% nothing but positive stuff, as an empath. I'm not overwhelmed. I haven't gotten to a burnout place, because I think at this point I know how to balance, and I know when I need to, like, take a step back and just be around, my family or my support system. You know what I mean? Therapy helps. If you're not in therapy and you have this issue, you definitely need to be, because therapy has given me some tools. I'm still in therapy. I'm not ashamed to say it. I go every other week, and it helps, not even just for empaths. I mean, let's get off the beaten path here, and I'll do a fucking episode on just alone on therapy and the impact it's had on my life. But as a segue, therapy fucking helps. There should not be a stigma on it. It's changed my fucking life. It's changed my life. Anyway, there is that 2% where, I'm not sleeping, or I'm not, I find myself, like, kind of shutting down a little bit when I don't want to. And that happens. That definitely happens. And it's okay. But I wanted to talk about it because I know a lot of other creators who have the same issue, as empaths, because And this goes back to everything that I've been saying on this podcast so far since it started. If you've been watching the episodes, you know that I'm a firm believer in taking care of A1 first. You, first and foremost, need to take care of you. If you're an empath, if you're not an empath, if you're just a very selfless individual that likes to help people and you're altruistic and you just want to help people because that's in your nature, whoever you are, you have to take care of you first. You cannot take care of somebody else or help somebody else or take on somebody else's feelings if you haven't taken on your own. That's number one. Number two is, as an empath, you can feel somebody else's feelings, but you don't have to take on their feelings. You don't have to own their feelings. That's not your job. We need to have filters in life and be able to filter out what we should be feeling or what we should be sensing from other people and what needs to just fall to the wayside. There are going to be moments as an empath in life, whether you're social media famous or well known on any social media platform or not, as an empath, if you are one, if I'm speaking to an empath right now, you have to understand that there are going to be moments and people that come into your life that you have to, and you have no choice but to love from afar and you know, care for from afar, because their energy is just so up here, like on X Games mode, that it brings you down here. You know what I mean? And you can't have anybody bringing your energy down. I mean, period, as people, whether you're an empath or not, we shouldn't be allowing other people's energy and negativity and negative mind state bring us to a place of like rock bottom ship. I just made that up. And as empaths, it is very easy for us to allow others to do that because we're so empathetic with what they're feeling, because we can feel it, you know, and we take on their feelings. But we have to have that shield, that filter, and it's not selfish to do. It's not wrong to do. You have to be able to filter out your feelings from somebody else's, and you have to be able to filter out the negativity from the positivity. If somebody's coming to you constantly dragging you down, you can love who they are as a human and know that they're a good fucking person on the inside. Because there are many, many good people just stuck in this limiting belief system. And that's okay for them for the time being. And that's their journey. But we have to be able to separate our journey, where we are, mentally, physically, emotionally, from somebody else's journey. You know? And I think, again, tying all of this into what I've been saying, it's easy for us to get sucked into toxic situations when we are feeling other people's energies, because it's easier for us to be manipulated into staying in those toxic situations because we're empaths, because we feel so deeply. It's easy. It is so easy to manipulate. I'll admit it, and I'm admitting it to, 1,000 people right now, damn near. It is easy to manipulate me. All you got to do is play on my heartstrings. But I've been able to, at 31 years old now, I can now sense when somebody is purposely trying to play on my heartstrings, purposely trying to keep my energy within their own, just for the sake of their selfish gain, by playing on my heartstrings. And, you get these people who come to you, especially as an influencer. You get these people who come to you and they're distraught in their lives, and they have these issues and they want to unload on you. And you want to be the one to save them. You want to be the one to let them know that they're going to be okay. That's the whole reason that I made this podcast. I want people to take home something and be like, you know what? I'm not alone in what I'm going through. I realize that I can't reach out to every single person. I'm human. There's 132,000 people following me, and I'm so grateful for each and every single person. But I recognize that I have a family, I have a life, I have friends, I want to get married. You know what I mean? Like all these things I want to do in my life. I realize I obviously can't reach out to every single person. That's the point of this podcast, right? Is to be able to connect with you and as many people, to the masses, but I'm speaking to you. If you're watching this, I'm speaking to you directly, you know? And the whole point of telling my story is so that people know that you're not alone. You're not alone in what you're going through. And I think, again, tying this all back into empathy and being an empath, when you're an empath, it becomes almost like a job for you to be there for people. Because you feel what they're feeling, you don't ever want them to feel that low. And that's why I'm here, you know? And there's really no point to this. There's no like advice that there's some advice. The filter is good advice. Journaling when you're an empath and you can write down your feelings and just write whatever let your hand guide you. That's like literally what I do. You know, like sometimes I'll just take out my phone and write in my notepad and I'll just let my thumbs guide me, whatever they're saying, even if it's fucking gibberish at first. Eventually your true feelings will come out, and they always do. And you can read them back and be like, this is how I feel. Why do I like analyze what you're thinking and pick it apart and understand what the fuck you're feeling. And then you can differentiate your feelings from the other person, from the person that's in your energy. And sometimes as an empath, you have many people in your energy. And I think that's the reason why I haven't been sleeping, because if I could time it, I stopped being able to sleep a full night, longer than 6 hours a night. 6 hours is the most I can get. And I'm lucky if I get 6 hours. It's a good day if I get 6 hours. I stopped in April. And April was when I started gaining a following. And I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to figure out how to balance everything. Balance is the key. When you're an empath, you have to be able to balance. Because it's your purpose in life to... not your purpose. Because it's nobody's purpose. And I'll always say this. It's nobody's purpose to save somebody else, you know? Unless you make it your calling in life, then it's your calling in life to save a human being, to be a doctor and resuscitate somebody. But even still, you're not always expected to make the save. Doctors who sign up for it, you know, they make it their life's mission to be able to try, to attempt to save people, to help people physically. Even they know, at the end of the day, not every person can be saved, okay? That's first and foremost. But as human beings who aren't doctors, and we aren't in that place, it's not your job to emotionally save somebody. It's not your purpose in life to emotionally save somebody. You want to make somebody feel better, by all means, do your thing. But it's not your job you were not put on this planet to be somebody else's crutch. You aren't put on this planet to be somebody's punching bag or to take on somebody else's feelings. Because if that were the case, then you'd just be that person and you'd be feeling what they're feeling. As an empath, yes, it is our job on this. I feel like it's my purpose in this world whether I fucking chose it or not. I've always felt this way. It's my purpose in this world to just be a light and shed some light and positivity and smiles and insight and reason and love. Like that I genuinely feel like is my purpose in life. But even with all of that being said, I know it's not my purpose to fuck myself over for somebody else. Even being that, having that energy, that's what empaths do. That's what empaths do, because we feel what it feels like to be in that low frequency, and we don't want that. We don't want a true empath. Knowing what it feels like doesn't want anybody to feel that way. I mean, I felt it on my own. I felt other people's energy 100%, and I'm so compassionate and empathic for other people, empathetic for other people's feelings, right? But I felt that shit on my own, and I know what it feels like for me, and I don't want anybody to feel that way. And it's tough. And I know you guys understand. I haven't felt pressure from any single human being so far. If anybody's messaged me being pushy, I haven't read it yet. And it'll probably upset me if that's the case. What upsets me the most is when I need that time out. And sometimes that time out can take up to a week. It's not just, I need a day. Sometimes you get so drained that you need a week away from messages, or a week away from friggin' Snapchat, because you're getting bombarded at every angle. And as an empath, you want to make everybody's day. Genuinely. That's all I want to do. If I could sit here for 12 hours a fucking day and answer every single person, and that was possible, I would do it. Because to see people smiling, to see people's days being made just by me sending a message, that is just so incredibly fucking impactful. And I never knew that I could make that type of impact on somebody's day. And now that I know that I have that ability, that's all I want to fucking do, So me and Amber were talking, and Amber said the same thing. It was just this morning. She texted me and she was like, "Where the fuck have you been, bro? I haven't spoken to you." And I was like, I've just been kind of not laying low, but just like kind of in my own little world lately. I don't even know. And she opened up and said, like it's hard as an empath to not put everybody else before me. Everybody else's feelings before me. And I'll do that for somebody that I love tenfold, like maybe I shouldn't, but I still do that, for sure. But the moral of the story is, as an empath, it's your job to feel good as well, because it's only in that feeling good that you can make somebody else feel good. You can't, if you feel like shit, if you're in a lower vibration energy, right? Lower frequency, whatever the fuck you want to call it. If you're feeling like shit, how can you brighten somebody else's day? As empaths, we have no choice but to put our feelings, first. And that sounds shitty in the way that I just said it, but we have no choice but to consider our feelings first, and analyze our feelings first, and check in with ourselves first before we're checking in with other people. How does this person feel? How does that person feel? Because if I get to a point of depletion, I have no other more energy to give out to anybody else. If I'm depleted, right? It's like you're a car and your gas tank is full, and your best friend is stuck on the side of the fucking road because she ran out of gas. And because your tank is full, you are in the position to siphon half of that gas tank and give her half a tank of gas so that she can get home or to work or wherever she's got to go. But if you're on fucking E, if you're riding on reserves and your friend calls you up and says, bro, I'm stuck and I have nobody else to call. It's 11 o'clock at night on the side of the road. There's no street lights. I'm really scared. Come here, please. I ran out of gas. Can you spare some gas? Siphon some gas. If you're running on reserves, you can't do that for your friend. And that is literally the analogy for an empath. We have to worry about our feelings first and check in with ourselves first. Check our fucking gas lights. We have to check our gas lights. Make sure, how's our energy? How's the energy? Is my energy up here? Is my energy down here? Where am I at? If it's down here, what do I need to do? If it's running a little low, what do I need to do to fill back up? So that when somebody does need me, when somebody does need a little bit of my light, I can give that to them and not feel like I'm being drained. I wanted to say this. I wanted to make this episode because I feel like it's very important. And maybe, I'm going to send this to Amber. Amber, this is for you, honey boo-boo. But realistically, this is dedicated to you, but this is for anybody out there who needs to hear this. Anybody out there who's feeling like their energy is drained, whether that's from your children, whether that's from your husband, your wife, your fucking dog, it doesn't matter. It's not your necessity to deplete your energy to give to anybody, even your kids. You are best for your kids when your energy is full. So if that means you need to take a fucking spa day and give the kids to hubby for a second, or give the kids to your wifey for a second and go take a spa day and get a fucking massage, do your thing. Do what you need to do, because you can't be the best parent for that kid. You can't be the best mom or dad for that kid if your energy is constantly depleted. Because when your 2-year-old or 3-year-old comes to you and wants you to read them a book and you're so frustrated just by that one request because you're so drained, that tells me not that you're a lazy ass piece of shit parent, not that you're a dick, but it tells me you're fucking drained. And it tells me that you need to be doing more things for yourself. Because if you had that spa day, if you had that massage, if you went and hung out with your friends and had some fucking wine, then maybe when baby comes to you and says, Mommy, can you read me a story? You're refreshed. And you're like, yeah, baby. I had me time. I had my time. Let's go read that story because I'm replenished. So that's the end of that. That's all I have to say about that. I know I've been doing a lot of rants lately, and I apologize. My mother and I are going to do an episode soon about bullying, because I feel like we both have a lot to say about that. I was bullied when I was younger. The secret word is Tits McGee. If you've listened up to this point, comment down below, Tits McGee. Don't say anything else, just Tits McGee. Message me, whatever it is, Tits McGee. I love you guys so fucking much, and I thank you all for listening. Until next time, peace out, everybody.